You have entered a moment in time that heaven marked long before you were born, a season where the forces of light are rising on your behalf with a power that no earthly hand can resist, and I, Archangel Michael, stand before you to declare that your divine rise is not a dream, not a coincidence, not a fleeting spark, but the unfolding of a heavenly decree written into the scroll of your life before the foundations of the earth, for the Father saw every tear you cried in silence, every sacrifice you made when no one acknowledged you, every night you battled shadows and doubt yet chose to stand in faith, and now the reward of those hidden seasons is breaking forth like the dawn that cannot be stopped, the light of your destiny piercing through every cloud of limitation, scattering the chains that once tried to hold you captive, and I tell you this is not a small shift, this is a supernatural elevation that will place you where you could not place yourself. Open doors you could not open by effort, and draw resources, people, and opportunities you could never have orchestrated on your own, for heaven has decided that the time of your obscurity is over and the era of your visibility has begun, not to glorify you for your own sake but to magnify the one who called you, to use your story as a beacon of hope for those who thought their time had passed, to make you living evidence that God's timing is perfect and His plans are unshakable, and as your name begins to travel into rooms you have never entered, as conversations about you ignite in places of power, some will call it sudden, others will call it luck, but you will know in the depths of your spirit that it is divine, for this is what it looks like when heaven accelerates a destiny, this is what it feels like when angels are dispatched to clear the path ahead of you. This is the sound of chains breaking, of walls falling, of ceilings shattering, and you will stand in awe as you see how quickly the shift takes place. For one moment you will be in the familiar rhythm of your everyday life and the next you will find yourself in spaces, circles, and platforms you once only imagined, yet even as the elevation comes with speed, I warn you to anchor yourself deeply in the truth, for with great light comes great attention and not all attention is pure. Some will draw near to celebrate, others to exploit, and this is why discernment will be your armor in this season, for I will whisper into your spirit who is for you and who is against you, who is sent to walk with you and who is sent to distract you, and you must obey those whispers without hesitation, for obedience will be the key that keeps the doors open, and I tell you now that the rise will not be without resistance, for there are forces that have observed your life. Forces that tried to keep you small, that attempted to drain your hope, that sent lies into the mouths of others to discredit you, and yet here you are, standing stronger than before, and that is the very proof that their power is broken, because if they could have stopped you, they would have already done it, but heaven's decree has overridden every demonic assignment, and now I stand with my sword drawn, not in defense but in triumph, for the victory has already been secured in the spiritual realm. And what you are about to witness in the natural realm is simply the manifestation of what has already been settled, so do not shrink back, do not question if you are worthy of this rise, do not sabotage yourself with small thinking, for the God who shows you knows exactly why He placed this mantle upon you, and the influence coming into your life will not be for vanity but for impact, not for applause but for transformation, for your voice will carry the frequency of deliverance. Your presence will carry the fragrance of heaven, and those who encounter you will feel the shift even if they cannot explain it, for you are stepping into a supernatural momentum that will not end when the trends change or when the noise dies down, for this is not popularity, this is purpose, and it will sustain itself because it is rooted in the eternal, and as I speak these words to you, I am also sending reinforcements to guard your path, angels who will stand watch at every gate, angels who will turn away those with hidden agendas, angels who will stir the hearts of those assigned to bless and support you, and they will do it without asking for anything in return, for their spirit will recognize your mission and honor it, and in the days ahead you will feel the atmosphere around you changing, you will sense the heaviness lifting, the weariness breaking, the hopelessness dissolving, for you have crossed over into a new spiritual climate, one where the wind is at your back, the doors swing wide before you, and the ground under your feet is firm and unshakable, and though the world may look at you and try to calculate your rise, to reason it out in terms of talent, strategy, or connections, they will never be able to explain the favor, For favor is not earned, it is given, and it has been given to you in abundance, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, spilling into every area of your life until even your enemies have to admit that the hand of God is upon you. And I tell you, the impact will not be limited to your immediate surroundings, for your story will travel far beyond your borders, crossing languages, cultures, and nations, carried by the unseen currents of heaven into the ears and hearts of those who need to hear it, and many will rise from the ashes of despair because your journey will be the evidence they needed to believe again. And in this, you will find your greatest joy, and not in the accolades, not in the recognition, but in the knowing that you're a vessel through which heaven poured hope into the world, and every step from here will be ordered, not one wasted, not one misdirected, for the same God who lifted you will keep you, the same angels who guarded you in obscurity will now guard you in visibility, and every platform you are given will become an altar where His glory is revealed, for this is your divine rise. And it will change not only your destiny but the destinies of all who are touched by it. And I say to you now, the rise you are stepping into will accelerate in ways that defy human logic, for heaven's timeline does not move according to the calendars of men, and when the appointed hour strikes, what would normally take years will happen in months, what would take months will happen in weeks, and what would take weeks will happen in days. And this acceleration is not for the sake of speed alone but because there are lives hanging in the balance, people whose breakthrough is tied to your obedience, whose deliverance is connected to your yes, and this is why heaven has pushed you forward with such force, for the Father has seen those who have been crying out for a sign, for hope, for proof that they have not been forgotten, and He has chosen to use you as that proof. And though you may feel unprepared for the weight of this assignment, know that preparation has already been happening in the unseen, for every hardship you endured, every delay you thought was wasted time, every no you heard when you prayed for a yes was in fact shaping you, refining you, building in you the strength, humility, and wisdom that will keep you standing when others would have fallen. And now, as the eyes of many turn toward you, I tell you not to be distracted by the noise, for both applause and accusation are equally dangerous if they take your focus off the mission, and you must learn to receive encouragement without becoming addicted to it, and to hear criticism without becoming wounded by it, for your identity must remain anchored in the One who called you, not in the shifting opinions of men. And as you rise, the spiritual atmosphere around you will grow intense, for the light on your life will expose hidden darkness, not only in the world around you but also in the hearts of those who stand near you, and this exposure will cause some to distance themselves, others to reveal their true motives, and while it may hurt to see who cannot walk with you into the next season, rejoice in this pruning, for it is protection, not loss, and I will guide you in discerning which relationships to nurture and which to release. And I tell you also that new alliances will form effortlessly, connections you did not seek out will come to you, people of influence, resources, and wisdom will appear at the right time, moved not by flattery or self-interest but by divine prompting, for heaven will cause their spirit to bear witness with yours, and together you will accomplish what neither could do alone, and as these divine alignments take place, you will see how the puzzle pieces of your life begin to fit together, how every disconnected chapter now makes sense, for the delays, the detours, the disappointments were never meant to destroy you but to position you for something greater, and you will find yourself standing in rooms you once prayed to simply be near, speaking to audiences you once thought were out of reach, and in those moments you will remember these words that this rise is not about fame. It is about influence for the kingdom, not about being seen but about making Him known, and I will go before you into every place you are called, preparing hearts to receive your words, softening resistance before you even arrive, and there will be moments where you will sense a holy stillness fall over a room as you speak, not because of eloquence but because the Spirit Himself is moving through you, and those listening will feel chains break inside them without understanding why. And they will leave transformed, carrying seeds of hope planted by your obedience. And I tell you also that miracles will begin to follow you, not in a forced or theatrical way, but as a natural overflow of walking in alignment with heaven, for as you speak truth, healing will come to hearts, as you declare freedom, doors will open for others, and testimonies will reach you from faraway places where your voice was heard, and you will realize that your reach has extended beyond what you can measure, for heaven's network is not bound by geography, and even in your absence, the impact of your words will ripple outward, touching those you may never meet in this life. And as this unfolds, be mindful that with each step higher, the air becomes thinner, the path narrower, for elevation requires focus, and focus requires letting go of distractions that once seemed harmless, and you will feel the Spirit's gentle pull, calling you away from noise, from chaos, into moments of deep stillness where strategies are given, instructions whispered, and blueprints for the future revealed. For I tell you that what you see now is only the foundation, and heaven intends to build upon it something so vast, so lasting, that generations to come will be impacted by what is birthed in this season, and I will stand guard over the work, ensuring that no weapon formed against it will prosper, and every tongue that rises against you in judgment will be silenced, not by your defense but by undeniable evidence of God's favor on your life. And as this happens, some will marvel, some will resent, but none will be able to deny, and through it all you will remain unshaken, for your strength will not come from the platform beneath you but from the rock beneath your soul, and in this security you will move boldly, take risks without fear, and step through doors without hesitation, knowing that if heaven opened them, they are safe for you to walk through. And I tell you also that the days ahead will carry signs to confirm these words, dreams that feel more real than waking life, symbols of light, crowns, and open gates appearing repeatedly, strangers speaking words that echo promises you've kept in your heart, and in those moments you will feel heaven smiling over you, reminding you that you are not alone, not even for a moment, for we, the hosts of heaven, are with you, surrounding you, warring for you, clearing paths before you, and making your enemies stumble before they can harm you, for this is the season of your divine rise, and no force in existence has the authority to stop what has been set in motion. And now I say to you, beloved soul, the time you thought was lost is about to be restored in a way so great that it will make the years of delay look like preparation, for you have been asking when, and heaven has been preparing how, you have been wondering why, and the Lord has been securing where, you have been crying about who, and the Almighty has been deciding what, and now the orchestration is reaching its crescendo, and I, Michael, stand before you with my sword of light raised high, declaring that the tide is turning in your favor, that every accusation that has been whispered against you in secret chambers is being silenced by the roar of God's truth, that every contract of darkness signed against your name is being burned in the fire of divine justice, that every unseen arrow aimed at your heart is breaking in midair before it ever reaches you, for the canopy of the Almighty is above you, the shield of faith is in front of you, the armor of righteousness is wrapped around you, and no force in hell or on earth will prevail against the decree that has gone forth concerning you, for the decree says you are rising, you are stepping into the territory promised, you are inheriting the blessings stored up for generations, you are walking through gates that have been closed for decades, you are reclaiming land that your ancestors prayed over but never touched, you are receiving keys to doors that no man can shut, and as you walk, the ground will shift to align with your purpose, the winds will adjust to push you forward, the rain will fall to water the seeds you planted in tears, the sun will shine to illuminate the path you thought you lost, and in this season, there will be no mistaking that the Lord Himself has moved on your behalf, for testimonies will pour out from your lips like rivers, and the sound of your joy will be heard in places where only your sighs were known before, and I tell you, the angels assigned to you are not only guarding but also delivering, not only watching but also building, not only observing but also opening, for we are under orders from the throne to clear every obstacle, to dismantle every fortress, to uproot every lie, to escort you to the exact position the Father has chosen for you, and in this position you will find that the resources come without toil, the helpers arrive without delay, the favor flows without manipulation, the peace reigns without condition, for the atmosphere around you will carry the fragrance of heaven, the light in your eyes will carry the reflection of His glory, and even those who doubted you will be compelled to say, surely the Lord is with this one, Surely this life is marked by the hand of God. Surely this is the appointed time, and as you step into this appointed time, you will see that the very pain that was sent to crush you has been transformed into the strength that will sustain you. The very betrayal that was meant to bury you has become the platform that will lift you. The very silence that was meant to isolate you has become the sanctuary where you learn the language of heaven. And now that you carry that language, the earth must respond, creation must respond, doors must respond, hearts must respond, for you are not walking as you once did. You are walking as one who knows who they are, whose they are, and where they are going, and in this knowing there is no fear, no hesitation, no confusion, for the clarity of heaven has settled over you like morning light, warm, steady, undeniable, and as it spreads, it exposes every shadow, it dissolves every doubt, it cancels every plan of the enemy, for the enemy has run out of strategies against one who refuses to bow to fear, who refuses to surrender to shame, who refuses to live small when God has called them to live large. And yes, you will live large, not in the vanity of the world but in the fullness of the kingdom, where your measure is not in what you keep but in what you give, where your value is not in titles but in the lives transformed through your obedience, where your joy is not in possessions but in the presence that never leaves. And I say again, this is your divine rise, this is your moment of irreversible elevation, this is the turning of the tide in a way that will never go back to what it was, for heaven has shifted the current, and when heaven shifts the current, no man can push it back, no system can dam it up, no demon can pollute it, for the source is the throne itself, and from that source flows the life, the light, the love that is now flooding every dry place in you, every weary place in you, every broken place in you, and as it floods, it heals, it restores, it renews, it redefines, until you no longer see yourself as the one who barely survived but as the one who is thriving, shining, declaring, demonstrating that God is not finished with you, that your best is not behind you, that your destiny is not delayed, that your crown is not lost, and I, Michael, will stand guard over this word until it manifests fully, for the command has been given and the angels of fulfillment are on the move. And now, beloved, as I draw this divine proclamation to its mighty conclusion, hear me with the ears of your spirit and engrave every word into the unshakable walls of your heart, for the heavens have opened over you and the decree has been signed, sealed, and delivered into the very fabric of your destiny, a decree that no demon can cancel, no enemy can reverse, and no power of darkness can resist, for the one who sits upon the throne has spoken, and his word is final, his covenant unbreakable, and his promise eternal. The battles that have drained your strength, the nights that have soaked your pillow with tears, and the long roads that seemed endless are now being overshadowed by the light of a new dawn, a dawn that carries the fragrance of answered prayers, the warmth of divine favor, and the radiance of unstoppable victory. And I, Michael, stand as the guardian of this moment, releasing over you the keys of authority, the sword of truth, and the mantle of destiny that shall clothe you in power for the rest of your days. I declare that the shame of your past will not follow you into your future, for the blood of the Lamb has not only washed you clean but has crowned you with honor, and every label, every lie, every curse, and every false accusation spoken against you has been struck down by the gavel of the King of Kings, whose judgment is mercy for you and destruction for your adversaries. The angels assigned to your life have already gone before you, preparing the path, unlocking doors, and arranging divine appointments that will accelerate your rise beyond the limits you once thought possible. And as you step forward in faith, you will find that the mountains you feared were immovable will crumble like sand beneath your feet, the chains you thought would never break will snap as though made of threads, and the storms that threatened to consume you will bow in silence before the voice of the one who commands the wind and the waves. You will rise, not as one barely surviving, but as one divinely commissioned, divinely equipped, and divinely unstoppable, carrying in your spirit the unshakable confidence that greater is he who is in you than he who is in the world, for the same Spirit that raised Christ from the dead now breathes in you, quickening your mortal body and filling you with resurrection power. Your life will become a living testimony that the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob is still the God who keeps his promises, still the God who parts seas, still the God who brings water from rocks, still the God who shuts the mouths of lions, still the God who walks in the fire with his children and brings them out without even the smell of smoke, and still the God who turns crucifixions into resurrections. And I charge you, as the captain of heaven's armies, to walk boldly into the assignments placed in your hands, to speak truth even when voices around you tremble, to extend love even when hearts around you grow cold, and to remain steadfast in prayer even when the answers seem delayed. For your faith is a weapon that hell cannot withstand, and your obedience is the bridge between promise and fulfillment. And when the enemy tries to whisper that you are alone, remind him of this moment, remind him that you were here when heaven spoke, remind him that you were marked by this word, and remind him that you stand under the covering of the Almighty, surrounded by chariots of fire, and guarded by angels who excel in strength. You will not fall, you will not fail, you will not be forgotten, for the eyes of the Lord are upon you, his hand is upon you, and his spirit is within you. And as you walk out of this moment into the rest of your life, you do so as a chosen one, a beloved one, a victorious one, destined not for defeat but for eternal triumph. And I, Michael, will walk with you, fight for you, and see to it that every word spoken here is fulfilled in your days, for the Lord has sworn it, and the heavens have recorded it. And now it is done. Arise, beloved, rise into your destiny, for your time is now, your victory is here, and your story will forever be one of divine rise and unstoppable glory.